we'd like to call Jackie Johnson to the stand.
Okay. Jackie, what does your husband like to do in his spare time?
Well, he volunteers at a local soup kitchen, and he likes to do arts and crafts.
So where were you at the time of the robbery?
Well, I was cleaning the Hannigan household, and then I went to the hospital to see my mother. I was there all night.
Where was Jumbo when you left?
He was working.
How is Jumbo as a person?
Well, he's very nice and sweet. He's a great person.
Mrs. Johnson, in your opinion, could Jumbo have actually committed this crime?
No way. He's too nice and sweet to do that.
Okay, no further questions.
Prosecution, your witness.
Miss Johnson, where were you when your husband allegedly committed this crime?
I was at the hospital.
Didn't you just tell your lawyer that you were at your mother's house?
Hospital. I was at the hospital visiting my mother. She was at the hospital.
Okay. And were you with your husband when he committed this crime?
No, I was not.
So you're saying he did commit the crime?
No.
Defense counsel, any further questions for your witness?
Yes. Can you please restate loudly for the jury and the whole court where you were right before the time that this crime occurred and the rest of the night?
Before I went to the hospital, I was finishing up cleaning the Hannigan household, and then immediately after that, I went right to the hospital to visit my mother. I was there all night.
Thank you. So, Mr. Sundrop, is it true that the night of the aggravated robbery and assault, you and Jumbo were at your factory until 10 p.m.?
Yes,
What were you two doing there so late?
we were playing poker.
And is it true that Jumbo won $1,000 from you?
Yes,
Where did you get the $1,000 in the first place?
we were at the casino
You're at the casino
the night before.
the night before, and that's where you won the $1,000, which you then lost to him the night of the aggravated robbery and assault.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it true that Jumbo stole 12 cases of juice from your factory?
Yes,
Thank you.
Did you run a background check on Jumbo at all?
no,
Do you know he stole the juice, and why was there no charge?
well, I know he stole the juice, but he's a good friend of mine, so I would have let him have the juice because he was suffering from poison ivy.
And what did you hire Jumbo to do?
To work for my factory.
And do you yourself have a criminal background at all? Mr. Birdgiver, where were you at the time of the crime?
I was at my soup kitchen getting prepared for the next day.
In your honest opinion, how is Jumbo as a person?
Jumbo is an amazing guy. He always helps whenever I need him.
How long have you known Mr. Johnson?
A very, very long time.
How long has Jumbo been volunteering at your soup kitchen?
Quite a while.
Is it true that Jumbo called you at 12:20 a.m. the day of the crime?
This is true, and he sounded relaxed. He was happy that he had just won $1,000 in a poker game.
Okay, no further questions.
Mr. Breadgiver, how often does Mr. Johnson volunteer at your soup kitchen?
At least once a week.
And when he does, how does he interact with you and obviously other people?
He is extremely kind, and whenever I ask him to help, he will help me.
And when he called you at 12:20 on November 1st, is it possible that he sounded happy because he had just gotten $1,000 by stealing it from the man who fired him, that he was very agitated with and obviously angered with?
Well, I mean, I suppose anything is possible, but as I stated before, he's a kind man, and I don't think he could do something like that ever.
Isn't it true that you already stated that he called you at 12:20 a.m. the morning, technically, after the crime.
Yes.
Isn't that only 5 minutes after the assailant left Gus and Ginny's store?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Please state your full name to the court.
William Becky Backbreaker.
Did Jumbo call you on the evening of the crime?
Yes, at about 9 p.m. He called from his work. Said he surrendered his back a couple of days ago, so he wanted to schedule an emergency meeting the next day.
Is it true that it's pretty much physically impossible for Jumbo to run very fast?
Yes, he completely threw his back out of place if he tried. He's ever been messed up ever since he was in high school on the track team, where he tried jumping over a hurdle and hurt himself.
If Jumbo, for example, slipped and fell, could he have gotten back up?
No way. His back was messed up, and if it were to happen, he would have gotten paraplegia, which is a paralyzation in the lower half of his back. If he were to fall, he would need immediate medical attention from the injury.
Even if he didn't get that paralysis in his lower half, would it be possible for him to get up on his own if he fell even ever so lightly?
It would be extremely difficult for him.
Thank you. Where were you between times of midnight and 12:30 on October 31st?
Bathing in sunny sun-drop juice.
Is it true that you were playing poker with Sunny Sundrop until 10 p.m. at his factory?
Yes.
Is it also true that you won $1,000 from him in that game?
Yes.
You hurt your back again recently. How? Please elaborate for the court.
I was planting flowers in the community garden.
So you strained your back from planting flowers.
Yes.
Okay. And do you know where you got the poison ivy?
Well, I think I got it from the community garden because I saw these weird plants in there, so I decided to take them out. And afterwards, my arm was just itching.
And when was the last time, or how long were you there at the time?
Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
And then what did you do after that?
I went home because my back was hurting and took a nap.
But didn't you say that you were with Mr. Sundrop before you came back home at your work?
That was the next day, next night.
So when you got home that night, why did you bathe in the orange juice? How did you know that it relieved your poison ivy?
I looked up on the internet
You looked up on the internet, and did it work?
a little bit, just a little.
And while you were detained, what happened?
They hung the cream above my head. Couldn't reach it. It made me angry. Made me mad.
Order.
And after you were released, what did you do? Did you go home or?
Well, yeah, I went back to the apartment to see my wife, see if her mom was okay.
No further questions.
We have this gorgeous flower that the defendant made out of paper bag, marker, and tape. We have the pill bottle that the defendant used. It's a prescription for Vicodin, which, if none of you know, is a pill used for pain in extreme to moderate pain. And then this is the bag that the assailant allegedly wore over their head when they robbed the store. And if Your Honor would allow, I would like the defendant to try on this bag.
We'll allow that.
Doesn't
Order,
fit.
order.
You may now take it back off.
Really
Oh,
quick.
yes. One more thing. We have Becky Backbreaker's certificate to prove that he is actually a chiropractor.
This could be with the paper bags and scissors found in this man's locker. This could have easily been thrown together in minutes to make it look like something else, like that, the bag. And may I see that?
So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, hopefully the evidence and testimonies that have been studied and presented here today are good enough or reasonable enough to convict Mr. Johnson of the following crimes: aggravated assault and armed robbery. The evidence of the Bloodhound Bertha tracking the scent of the juice in Mr. Johnson's apartment is almost conclusive. This dog is 10 years old and not a stranger to tracking. There couldn't have been a mistake. Also, the amount of money, $1,000 in unmarked $100 bills, the same amount stolen from the store, was found on and around Mr. Johnson's residence. Keep this in mind while reaching a verdict.
Jumbo Johnson is a loving husband who donates his time to the community. I mean, the man works at a soup kitchen and a juice factory and makes arts and crafts in his free time. He works at the local garden, and although he may have been angry at Gus and Ginny Berger, who wouldn't be? They fired him for no reason after 10 years of his service. But this man, he was actually pretty happy at his new job at Sunny Sundrop's factory, and he was on his way to forgiving Gus and Ginny for firing him. Besides, Mr. Johnson is almost physically incapable of committing this crime that he has been accused of. You have heard all the testimonies, and you've seen all the evidence that proves my client is innocent. He is a caring person who does not deserve to even spend one day in jail. He did not commit this crime, and he is innocent. I rest my case.
Foreman of the jury, please tell us how the jury has decided.
Your Honor, us, the jury, the people of the United States, have reached a unanimous verdict. We here find the defendant not guilty.